Hi and welcome to my channel. In this video I'll show you how to replace the parking or emergency brake shoes on a W210 E320, but so many different models of Mercedes-Benz from that era, even before 2000s, and as late as 2000, even E350s, 2010, 11, 12, 13. I mean, there are many cars who have the same types of, the same mechanism, essentially, same type of shoes and setup. I purchased both the shoes, a total of four for both wheels from FCP Euro as of October of 2023 for about 35 bucks, so it is extremely cheap. And if your brake shoes are bad, then definitely you need to do this, but also remember that if your hydraulic fluids, hydraulic brakes malfunction for whatever reason, this is the emergency brake system. This is what could, if the car is not driving very fast, and even if this to retard the speed, slow down the car, or if the car is slower, moving slower, then to stop the car too. So because it's so cheap, and if you're always parking on slopes, then that uses the brake shoe material, the braking material. So therefore, you might want to consider replacing it. The reason I'm doing this car is because one of the retracting the springs was missing in this, and I couldn't get that by itself. So after removing the wheel lock bolt, then you'll remove the calipers and just set it to the side, hang it from something in the back, and then in the second row, in back seat, you'll have to. There are two places on the right and on the left where you can lift it up and move the seat out, because there's a panel cover that you would have to remove. I forget. It's probably an 8mm or 7mm nut that you'll have to remove. I should have paid more attention, but you need a metric socket set regardless in order to do this job. And there are actually two other bolts in the back, and I didn't bother removing those, so I'm just bending it a little up. This is the cable adjuster. So you would have to set this, and if you notice, there's a square hole right in front of it. You'll have to, as you're moving it to the right, you'll have to push it forward, and by forward I mean towards the front of the car, and then it will stay in place. Sorry that the camera is quite shaky here because I'm holding the camera in one hand and pressing, and so you'll move this clockwise while pushing it forward until it covers the square hole underneath it, and this will sort of retract the shoes, and it will help in removal of the brake disc, which also you'll need a big hammer, as well as some WD-40. And don't be afraid to just hit this thing as hard as you can. Not the actual surface where the hydraulic brake pads, right? But this part, you just hit it as hard as you can until it comes out. But specifically when you put the brake disc back on, you'll have a hard time doing it unless you do this. What Mercedes-Benz calls is preload the cable, automatic cable slack adjuster. That's what that was. And as you can see here, the spring is missing. This is the retracting spring in the bottom. There are two of them, one on top that connects to the two sides of the adjustment wheel, and one in the bottom that connects to the two sides of the expansion lock. And so these are the two retaining springs that you would have to remove from the two sides that's holding the brake shoes to the back. And you just turn it a quarter of, just a quarter turn, and it will come out. And I'll show you in detail how that is holding the brake shoes in place shortly. And so in my case, there's just one out of two springs is there, the retracting springs. The other one is not. So the one on the top is there. The one in the bottom is not. So it's easy to take out. But in your case, you just remove the spring. Once you have removed the two retaining springs, then it's very easy. It just comes out. Pay attention to the orientation of the expansion wheel. As you can see, the black part of the expansion wheel faces where the car, the driving direction. Okay. And I'm not greasing it. You should grease this just lightly. I will do it next time I have the wheels out, but you'll need some caliper grease to do this. So the new kit comes with everything from it's genuine Mercedes-Benz kit, $35, like I said, for both wheels. So this is the retracting spring, is smaller of the two springs that goes on the top, and then this is the adjustment wheel. And so you wanna turn it all the way to the last position, as you can see here. So if you turn this more, the more you turn that, the more it will expand, and as it expands the shoes. So that will happen automatically over time as the shoes get worn out. So leave it at that level, and then you might want to make adjustments. And I'll leave the instructions from Mercedes-Benz on how to make any adjustments. You shouldn't have to with brand new shoes, but if you do, then you'll know how to do it. And just give it a good cleaning with some brake parts cleaner, and then use your whatever grease you have to. These are the 5 or 6 spots that the back of the brake shoes touch, so you can lightly grease those areas. There's one more underneath, and I don't have a good camera angle to show you. And then the retaining springs, so I'm showing you here, this is where the end of that goes, and you just give it a quarter turn. But you have to, when the shoes are there, you have to push it through the shoes and then to the back. So, and as you put in, kind of move it towards the top, and then without releasing the spring, and letting the expansion wheel come off, sort of carefully put it in place just as you found it. In this case, it was sort of like between 1 and 2 o'clock. And then where the expansion wheel goes. And then move the shoes towards the back, and then align the slot where the retaining spring goes through. to the back. So you'll see that in a second. And and you'll need a good, strong light in order to see if it's aligned to the slot. And this is the expansion lock in the bottom that the other spring goes to, and that's the more difficult part of this job. And as long as you have aligned it correctly, the retaining spring will go in just fine without any problems. But if it doesn't, just keep trying. Eventually it will. And this is the hardest part. This retracting spring goes behind, not in the front, but behind expansion lock. Okay, and so whichever way you want to put it in first, on top or left. I'm doing it in the right or bottom, and then using somebody else to help out. I'm pressing it with a screwdriver from the bottom, and my assistant is pulling it up. There are two slots on the two shoes, and it goes to those two slots on the two shoes. And then I'm pressing it with a larger screwdriver until it seats. And then after that, it's just a matter of cleaning up the discs and some copper grease if you have, just lightly apply so that next time it comes out easier. I'm giving the torque values everywhere. This is 10 Newton meters, 7 something foot-pounds. I have it. I'll have it in the beginning of the video, and then everything in reverse order, of course. I believe 81.13 foot-pounds for the caliper, and then the wheels on the E320, 110 Newton meters. And so this is how you release the adjuster, the slack adjuster. And you press that center little piece upwards. You kind of lift it, and then it retracts, and this hits the parking brake automatically. So you don't have to do anything after this. Of course, you can set the parking brake and then see if the wheels turn or not, and then release it and make sure that the wheels turn freely. But I'll have the instructions in the video, and as to how to make adjustments, any final adjustments if you need to, but you shouldn't. So I hope you find this video useful, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.